Hey everyone, this episode of the What Are We Watching podcast is brought to you by Chibi Kadama. Now, Chibi Kadama is a kindie band that's music made by kids and adults for kids and adults. Put down that Kids Bop CD. You know that thing sucks. Listen to Chibi Kadama. You can check them out at chibikadamamusic.com. We also have some CDs and stickers from the band to give away to you, our viewers and listeners. All right, stay tuned for the latest episode of the What Are We Watching podcast.
Yeah, Carlin turns on the TV, Christian flips off the screen, cause there's no good children's shows that he's seen. We've got dogs with blogs, superheroes in the ER. All dads are dumb and kids have better PR. Carlin just smile, Christian sits with the scowl. He complains to his son, all the kids shows suck now. They sit and discuss the show's plus and minuses while you listen or watch on YouTube to the arguments. Who is right? Is it the son or the dad? Either way you get to laugh knowing Christian is mad. So pull up a chair, get the corner poppin'. Here's a new episode of What Are We Watching?
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for the latest episode of the What Are We Watching podcast. How are you doing, Carlin?
Good.
How have things been going lately?
Pretty good.
So we're just going to lie to our viewers and listeners?
Maybe.
But things are on the upswing.
Yes.
All right. Now, Carlin and I are going to be speaking at MapCon on August 9th. Oh no, September 9th. It's August 9th has already passed. On September 9th, we're going to be speaking at MapCon. It's a podcast convention in Philly. You can check it out at MapCon Convention. It's not mapconconvention.com. Just Google MapCon. I don't have the address in front of me. Google MapCon. We're going to be talking about what it's like to podcast with your kids and not kill them. Okay. And now, this episode, what did we watch, Carlin?
The legendary Dudas.
The legendary Dudas. Now, I was confused by the name. When I first read it, I didn't know if it was Dudas, Dudas, Duda. I didn't say a naughty word. Dudas. I didn't know how to say it, but they say Dudas, right? That's
Yes.
how the brothers say it. And it kicks off with a theme song, just like our podcast.
I really liked it.
You really liked the theme song to the show?
Yes?
Okay, what did you like about it? I'm just curious.
I forgot what I liked about it, but I know I liked it.
Okay, here's what I thought about it. It didn't tell me anything about the show. Wasn't it just like, the dude is... I can't even remember the tune. I remember writing down, interesting, not really, title sequence. And you liked the title sequence for the show. Okay.
Well, now that I think about it, it was okay, but
No,
still.
that's fine. If you liked it, you liked it. That's cool. I was hoping it would explain the show. Now, in our mini episodes, which we have every other week, we tell you what we're going to be watching the next week. That way you can watch the episode. Then when you join us for the podcast, you know what the heck we are talking about. Plus, it gives us an opportunity to give away prizes to our listeners, just like our Chibi Kadama stuff. But we give a description of the show on our mini episodes, and The Legendary Dudas, it's season 1, episode 4 is what we watched. It's a new show. And basically, Sam is the brother to Tyler, and he skipped a grade so he could be in 7th grade with his brother Tyler. That's the premise of the show. Okay, now this is done in 2 parts, almost like Phineas and Ferb, where they do like a 10-minute story and a 10-minute story when you take out all the commercials and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a 2-part show. And it's also done in the talking to the camera style. The documentary, mockumentary style, camera style. Did you notice that? Where the brothers were actually
kind of
talking?
like Spider-Man, where he would freeze in front of things.
It's a little bit different. Spider-Man breaks down that wall to speak to the viewers in the cartoon, the new Spider-Man cartoon, much like Deadpool. That's where they stole that from comics. But this is done like the show The Office, which is more of an adult show, or Modern Family. I don't know if you've seen a little bit of Modern Family, right?
Before, yeah.
It's not always appropriate for kids, but it's not the worst. So it's done in that style where the show happens, but they're talking to the viewer. So what was the first story about the first half of the legendary Dudas season 1, episode 4?
Sam's birthday.
Sam's birthday. Now, what was the episode about? What was Sam doing in his birthday?
Sam invited his new classmates to his birthday party, which he had at Castlemania.
Okay, Castlemania, which you haven't been there yet. There's one in Myrtle Beach, actually, and we haven't taken you yet. But it is called, oh no, what is it called? I had a brain freeze right there. It's called Medieval Times. Medieval Times. And if you go on your birthday, it's free, actually. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
But I think you have to go like on your birthday. And we'll talk about some free stuff later in this show about the Magic or Castlemania that they went to. But what you do at Medieval Times, it's a little better than what we were watching on Castlemania. You get to watch guys on horseback. They do jousts. And they actually do sword fighting in front of you and all that. And then they bring you this platter with meat and stuff. And you have to use your hands like you're in medieval times and all this kind of stuff. They'll bring you a fork if you really scream about it. Okay, so Mom was like, I'm not eating this with my hands. Because we went when we were younger. So he has his birthday party at Castlemania. But what's the whole gist of it? What is Sam trying to do?
Sam is trying to show his friends that he can be an awesome classmate.
I'm taking a swig of sweet, sweet tea. Yeah, I mean, he's not trying to be an awesome classmate as much as he's trying to show off and be popular.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. So he's competing with all of the other awesome birthday parties that he's heard about. Now, there's this one kid, I didn't get his name at first, but I think his name is Carter.
Yes,
He's in part 2.
Carter.
He's a jerk, okay? He keeps bragging about his previous birthday party and talking about how awesome it was. And he is slamming Sam. Slam Sam. That would be a better. I like that name better for the show. Slam Sam. Slamming Sam's birthday party a little bit. Now the other kids that he invited said they could only stay for like 10 minutes. Why is that?
Probably because they kind of didn't want to be there.
Well, they also said they had other places to go, right?
Yeah, 8 other birthday parties, but at first it started out as 9, but one got grounded.
Yeah, one kid got grounded. So. Sounds familiar. Shh, we're not talking about it. Okay, so that was kind of funny. Sam was talking about the other good parties. I think it was at Carter's, I'm not sure, but somebody gave away dogs at their birthday party, and he had a dog. Do you remember the name for his dog?
Dang it,
Mr.
no.
Wigglebutt.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Wigglebutt. Okay, now the part that I liked would be, this would be you if you were a kid at this party. There was this little girl, and she was kind of like the B story of the episode.
Oh.
What was she trying to do?
She was trying to get on the leaderboard.
Mm-hmm. To get on the
something like that.
board.
Yeah, the winner's board. She had to eat a bucket of bacon.
Yeah, it was
a
the
cherry.
Ye Olde Royal Challenge. It was.
Yes.
It was. I wrote it down. It was 1 steak, 12 waffles, 3 chili dogs, celery. They didn't say how much celery. A bucket of bacon and a cherry.
Yes.
Like a cherry on top, as if it was an ice cream sundae, but it was more like a meat sundae. So this girl looked like she weighed all of, 60 pounds. She looked like I could throw her across my fence. And she was supposed to eat all this food. Now, you would try this.
Yes,
We
totally.
used to watch Man vs. Food all the time, and you were always like, I could do that challenge. I could do that challenge. And then when you've actually had that kind of food in front of you, you're like, Papa, I thought I could do it, but I think I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be in the bathroom for a half an hour. And then you just destroy a bathroom for half an hour. It's like when we go to Mexican buffet, and then I see that there's a line at the bathroom, and I look around, and I realize it's because you're in there. And everybody's looking at me like, come on, guy. Get your kid out of there. So she's trying to do the Ye Olde Royal Challenge. And let's just jump ahead so we can finish part A in a minute. But does she do the Ye Olde Royal Challenge? Does she make it?
Yes.
She does not.
What?
Did she make it on the wall?
I thought she did.
When? No, she didn't make it. She said she was gonna, she's like, I don't feel good. And her friend
I
said,
thought she still...
we better empty this bucket of bacon because she's going to need this bucket later because she was saying she was going to throw it up. Did she finish it? Did I miss her getting on the
She
board?
burped. She said,
she burped.
excuse me, after
Yeah.
she was eating.
But I don't
the
think she
second
finished
plate.
the food. Did you see her get on the board?
I didn't see it,
Okay.
but
then she's a loser. She failed. All right. So Sam is at the Castlemania trying to impress all his friends because he's got a gift card worth how much money? $200. And he's like, every time somebody says they're going to leave, or what's his name again? Carter gives him a hard time. He's like, buy a sword, buy a tiara, get some t-shirts with some apps. You know, he wanted to order mozzarella sticks. Carter's like, yeah, I did that when I was 4. So he's like, get some meatballs.
I thought it was 2.
2, whatever. Get some meatballs, get some t-shirts. And so I think before the main meal comes, he's already spent $200.
Yeah.
Easy. Okay. Now, Tyler is his older brother, and he says, Sam, you don't have to spend money to make people like you. And I loved that in this show. That was a great message. You don't have to buy things and have the best of everything to make people like you or buy their friendship. That was a great message. And I haven't watched all of these episodes, but Tyler says, and I'm Tyler Duda saying this, which obviously means Tyler makes mistakes too, but he's like, you got to calm it down. And does Sam calm it down? No, of course not. He digs in deeper. And then we find out from the waiter that his gift card is really only worth
$20.
Womp, 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 womp. Or as Price is Right would do, $20. So what is the only way to get out of trouble? They're not going to dine and ditch. They can't do that on a show and teach kids to do that. So what's the only chance they have of paying for this meal since they don't have any money?
Is fighting the night of bills.
The night of unpaid bills.
Oh, unpaid bills.
And their meal is free. And the waiter says, like, no one's ever beaten him before. No one's ever beaten him before. So Sam starts fighting the knight with a foam sword because they don't let him have real swords. And the kids join in. They don't even know what's going on, but they're like, oh, this is part of the show, but we're going to help Sam, you know?
Yeah.
He's entertained us. And so they help fight the knight of unpaid bills. And the knight quits. He's like, this is supposed to be fake. I'm out of here. He quit. And so the waiter says, hey, you got it. You got a free meal after one more thing.
They had to do the dishes.
Now, here's the thing. He said if they beat the knight, they could get it for free, right? So why do they have to wash dishes?
Because he's a jerk.
I'm thinking it's because they cheated and it was more than one person.
Yeah, that might be.
That seems to be a little more realistic.
Yeah.
That it was also that there were 4 other kids clobbering the knight with French baguettes, you know, the big rolls.
Yeah.
French baguettes and wooden swords that they'd gotten at the, gift counter and stuff like that. So they end up defeating the knight, but they still have to wash dishes, probably because they cheated. And that one kid, Carter, he's mad because they have to wash dishes, but they're all having a blast, right?
Yeah, they're spraying each other, throwing soap at each other.
Throwing soapy water, and they're like, this is the best birthday party ever. So I kind of like that. You don't have to spend money to impress your friends, and, it's fun. Okay, Now, before we get to part 2, let's hit our What Are We Watching question board that we always do. What are our 3 questions on the What Are We Watching question board?
Are there adults around?
Are there adults around?
Are the adults idiots?
Uh-huh. And was there a laugh track?
Yes.
And was there a laugh track on the show?
You know what? I don't really remember.
I don't remember the laugh track because it was a speak to the camera type show. I don't think there was a laugh track on this show. And here's the thing. I should have written it down as soon as I listened for it, but I forgot to because I didn't notice it. That's awesome for this show because normally I'm like, oh, within 30 seconds, the laugh track is killing me. This is driving me crazy. And I didn't get that with the show. But they don't have it because it's a talk to your camera style show. So they can't be talking to the audience and tell you when to laugh at the same time. You see? It's got to be one or the other. So that style show, it doesn't work. So were there adults around? Now think of both parts. We're going to talk about part 2. Were there adults in the episode?
Yes.
Who? That's my question to you.
Just part 2 or part 1 and 2?
No, both.
Okay.
Who were the adults?
The people in the background.
That doesn't count.
The judges.
The judges for they
talent
didn't ever
show.
speak, never spoke. That's in part 2. We're going to
The
talk about
knight.
the knight who says one line, and the waiter,
Yes.
and that's it. No parents. No teachers at school. right? No principal, nada. So while there was one adult in the show that was a waiter because he had to fill the role, I'm going to say no. There were no adults on the show because he was a guest performer, right?
True.
He's not going to be in every episode. So no, there's no adults. This is like those other shows. These kids.
Oh, and the waiter, the actor, is in a different show too.
Yeah, but these kids live in this like weird world where no adults exist. Grandma gave him a gift card and just sent him and 5 kids to a place to have dinner and do everything on their own. They're in 7th grade. They are in school with no teachers. There's no person working in the cafeteria when they're eating. Nothing.
And the person in the line for the watches.
But do they speak? The person that works in the store speaks.
Yes.
But again, it's a guest role. That's it. I mean, barely a guest role. Okay, so there's
But
no
they're
adults.
showing more of the kids.
Yes. So we're going to count this as a no adults because I didn't see one adult star for the show. True? Right.
True, but that's not totally their
I'm gonna,
fault. The
I'm
kids'
going to take
fault.
this. All right, I'm using my power of Papa Veto, and it's done. So were the adults idiots in the episode? And we can really only talk about episode 1 because there were really no adults in the second part of the episode. So were the adults idiots?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the waiter was kind of an idiot, or a jerk,
Both
at
of
least to
them.
the kids. And the knight was like, "Oh, I got beat up by a bunch of kids."
And
So it's really weird though.
the
because-
person who works at the watch place,
Right.
she said, "Oh, your teddy bear can have one too."
Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But here's the thing: we either have to say there's adults in the show and they were idiots, or there were no adults in the show.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna leave that one
Idiots.
blank.
Dang it.
And go with there were no adults in the show because there weren't no parents that are normal stars. Now maybe if you've seen other episodes and there are adults in the show, leave it in the comment section below at whatawatching.com or on YouTube or Libsyn, wherever you're listening. But there don't seem to be adults in the show, and that's weird. So if you've seen another episode, prove me wrong and prove Carlin right that there are
Yes.
adults in the show.
You should
All right.
just go with me.
The second part of the show was about what? Sam was going to try to win.
A new watch.
Oh, yeah, Sam was trying to get a watch. That's right, to buy a watch. And
Tyler was trying to win the talent
Tyler
show.
was trying to win a spot on this TV talent show. He was
Yes.
auditioning. And it was funny. Tyler said he had a taste of fame because he used to be the face of Extreme Flakes, Extreme Flakes, Extreme Flakes, Extreme Flakes.
And he had on this headband,
Yeah.
these glasses.
He's like, once you get a taste of fame, you can't go back. That's probably true. So Tyler is interviewing other kids to be in this talent show with him. And there's a mime. There's a kid that just eats cake. Like he thought that was a talent.
Yeah.
And some other things. But he doesn't have any luck. And Sam's suggestion was to go to Carter, the kid we know is a jerk, because Carter and him used to do what as kids?
Karate.
Yeah, they were the karate kids. But he says Carter doesn't have any fun. Carter, is just
Is
like,
always serious.
Yeah, always
he doesn't
serious.
know how to have fun.
Yeah, which is really when you watch the show and it's like the Asian kid that they made the martial artist and said he had no fun and was always work. I'm just saying they were hitting a couple racial stereotypes that I didn't think a show like this would be hitting, but they did hit those. All right, let's jump to the B story. Sam is trying to get this watch, Next Watch or I don't know what it was
I
called.
think it was a Nex watch or a Nexo
So
watch.
he said it's going to replace his phone, his tablet, his blah, 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 blah. This is the next great thing.
And his old watch.
Right, and his old watch, which he threw at a kid down the
And
hall.
he said, "Sorry, you can keep that."
Keep that. So now this is the second show we've watched where the kids have stood in line for like the next best thing. You remember that?
Yeah,
It was
Austin
the
and
Austin and
Allie.
Allie. They did. It was the exact same storyline, except that was the A story. This was the B story. So basically, a little girl cuts in front of them with a big teddy bear, and they're all angry about it. And every time they try to get her to go in the back of the line, she either says, "These kids are bullying me," or whatever she does to get the adults on her side that never speak. And then what does Sam decide to do when he finds out that only him and this girl and her teddy bear are going to get a watch and not his other 3 friends? So what does Sam decide to do to finally thwart this evil girl?
He snatches her teddy bear and runs with it. And she says,
She says something "Oh, you're going to get it now," or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, just like our last show that we watched with the Thundermans, the Danger and Thunder episode, it's about little girls beating up older kids. Because he says, I got my friends those watches, but I also got my butt kicked by this little girl. So that was the B story. Sam actually did the right thing, which is nice, since he did the wrong thing all of the first part of the show.
Yes.
By adding stuff onto a bill. Oh, by the way, in that first part of the show, even though he thought he had a $200 gift card, which was $20, he ended up spending $300 and some dollars.
Yes.
And 7 cents, as the waiter kept saying. So he did wrong the whole first part of the show. He finally did something right. Even though he got them to the store late because he didn't get the directions right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to the last bit of the A story, the talent show. So they decide to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler and Carter. I keep forgetting his name is Carter. He doesn't look like a Carter.
He looks like a...
Don't say something bad because this kid was Asian. Do not say something racist. What were you getting ready to say?
I was going to say one of my Asian friends at school.
Oh my
Their
gosh. Cover his mouth. We're going to get letters. Okay. Don't leave anything in the comments below. Okay. So he decides to work with Carter, who should be a blonde kid that plays golf. Okay. So he decides to go with Carter, the jerk. And they're going to do the Karate Kids. And before they walk out on stage, there's a whole thing about how he's got a goofy outfit and Carter doesn't want to work with them and they're going to do it separate. But eventually they're like, yeah, we're bros. And they go out there together. But they look at somebody that's there before their turn. And what is that kid doing?
This little kid has an Egyptian hat on.
Yeah, like
juggling
an Egyptian burial.
This little kid, 3 turtles that he's juggling and singing opera that sounds like a real man.
Yeah, like a but like
I suck at that.
Deeper than I can do.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I got a question for you. Now, this is like Bella and the Bulldogs and the cheerleading. Did you ever get to actually see him juggle the turtles?
No. But that's because they probably couldn't. But if they used like CGI or something
that's because they would yell. PETA would yell. PETA, the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, they'd scream, "You can't juggle turtles," as if little dime turtles had any idea.
CGI, it looks real, but...
They decided not to spend the money on CGI. You know what was cheaper than CGI? Panning the camera over to see the Dudas brother instead of doing that. It's like, we could spend $30,000 on CGI turtles, or we can just move the camera 3 inches to the right. Guess what they're always going to do if it's cheaper? The cheaper option. Trust me. So they won't even show superpower shows on Thundermans for more than 30 seconds. They're not going to put CGI turtles in Legendary Judas. Okay, so right at the end, they show the kid like bowing, I think, after did he take off his hat too? I don't know. But anyway,
no, he's just like, bowing. Thank you.
Okay, so Sam and Carter, black hair Carter, go out to do their karate, and Sam's got Tyler's got a goofy shirt on, or outfit with lights.
He has lights, has a light robe, like it goes like
he's going to be in Tron or something. And then let's just, I'm sorry for anybody that's just listening to the podcast, but let's show some of their awesome in quotes, karate moves that they did. Chopping the air. They're basically just chopping the air with their hands. And
they're kicking too.
I would say Carter sucks at karate too. Like, he does like a kind of kick flippy thing in the practice, and you were writing something down from a previous part, and you're like, I didn't even get to see his moves. And I was like, it was a move. It wasn't doing any moves. It was like...
A move. There.
It was because the only reason I called it a move was because he actually moved. The other times they're just standing there chopping the hair. It was more of a dance. Okay, so
So then Carter does backflip and then puts his hands up to show Tyler, and Tyler puts on his crazy glasses.
He does do one move, and then Tyler puts on his crazy glasses, and everybody cheers. Oh, this is the best thing we've ever seen. And they lose to the Turtle Kid.
Yes.
Which they should. If a little kid can sing bass opera and juggle turtles at the same time in an Egyptian getup, which has nothing to do with any of those things, it almost sounds like an episode of Little Einsteins. Really classical
That's
music.
what I was thinking when I saw that
music,
kid.
An animal, and an Egyptian costume. 3 things that have nothing to do with each other, and then we'll pretend we taught you something. My, do I hate the Little Einsteins. Watch that episode at whatawewatching.com. All right, so here's our wrap-up. What did you think about the Legendary Dudas? 0 being you hate it, 100 being you loved it, 1 to 10. No, I said 100. 1 to 10. 1 to 10. 0, you hate it. 10, you loved it. What did you think of Legendary Dudas?
I would give it a 9.5, but not a 10 because I liked the second part better than the first part.
Oh, okay. Like a half a point really matters when you're giving a show a 9.5.
Yeah.
By the way, the average that you've given all of these shows is like a 9.5. I mean, you gave a show like a 15 once, and we have a 0 to 10 rating. Okay. I'm going to shock you a little bit. Okay?
I hope it's not a bad shock.
I'm going to give this show a 7. I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm not surprised.
I
Just
normally
joking.
give it a really low score, but I like the show. I don't think that they have everything worked out in this 4th episode of the season.
Well, it's only the 4th, so they might be getting
I
there.
think there's some, like, the delivery seems kind of what they would call wooden, where it's like, I am talking now and delivering a joke. Like, there's a little bit, like when they were walking in the hall in the first part of the second part, the first part of the second part, when they're talking about getting the watch and the show, it just seemed very kind of like, we know these lines. These are the lines we are going to use. But they're kid actors, and this is the 4th episode. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's going to get better. I think there were some solid jokes in the show. I like that the little skinny white girl was the one trying to eat all the food. Carter, obviously, there were some jokes there, whether intended or not. I like the message at the beginning of the show.
I always forget his name when you mention him. I just think of Asian. I don't even say Asian kid.
Oh my gosh. You're going to get us hate mail and hate comments in the section below. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry to anyone who is offended.
I'm just glad that you're the black kid saying this and it's not the old crusty white guy. It's him. Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness, this is so great. I'm gonna give it a 7. I like the jokes. I like a couple of the jokes. I like the message about don't buy your friends, just be yourself. The brothers kind of were good together. I liked it. I think I liked the show. Okay, a 7 means I'm willing to watch another episode of it, and that's a glowing review for me. All right, everybody, don't forget, leave a comment below. Just leave a comment. That's all you gotta do. And you
Not
can
about
win.
the Asian.
No, oh my gosh, please stop saying that. We're putting him on mute. I'm gonna actually mute your microphone. Oh wait, that was me. No, that's you. Okay. We can now. Everybody's gonna hear like womp 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 muting. We're gonna give away some of these Chibi Kadama stickers, and all you gotta do is comment below. Just comment, and we've got some awesome CDs. This one is Stardust, and this is one with the dragon on it, and it's called Dragons. Boy, that was a shocker. I love these guys. I love Chibi Kadama. They make good music. It's like talking and screaming rock and roll music for kids made by kids and their dad. I mean, how cool is that? So thanks for checking out the podcast. Go to whatawewatching.com for more episodes, or just check out What Are We Watching on YouTube. The episode I did with your sister where we interviewed Millie Davis has outshined your interview of Chris Tallman from the Thundermans. I'm sorry. But she has over
She's going to pay.
She has over 15,000 views right now on the interview with Millie Davis. So check out that interview. It's a great interview. Just put in Millie Davis interview on YouTube and you're going to get us. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This production is brought to you by the Plaid Dad Blog Podcast Network. For more information, visit us at plaiddadblog.com.